The Purchase Orders app for Clover allows you to create and manage your stock simply and easily. This app allows merchants to create and receive purchase orders for their Clover inventory and automate the reorder process by setting minimums and maximums. The Purchase Orders app can be used on its own or together with the Mission Control app to manage multiple locations in one dashboard. You'll first want to set up your vendors within the Purchase Orders app to enjoy the app's benefits. To create a new vendor, click on the green Create New Vendor button under the Vendor tab. Once prompted, enter the new vendor's information in the pop-up window. You'll enter the vendor name, account number, contact information, payment terms, etc. Once all relevant information is populated, click the Save button at the bottom of the pop-up window. You can also create a vendor to represent a Clover location on this window through the Represent a Location field. This can be helpful when transferring inventory from one of your locations to another. If you are not creating a vendor to represent a Clover location, please leave this field blank. Once all relevant information is populated, click the Save button at the bottom of the pop-up window. Inventory will be tracked and updated from this location as purchase orders are filled. Once your vendors are created, they can easily be managed by navigating to the Vendors tab once you have launched the Purchase Orders app from your web browser. Here, you can edit your vendor information as necessary by selecting the Edit button to the right of the vendor. You can edit the vendor's characteristics, for instance their name, contact information, payment terms, connected location, etc. You also have the option to delete a vendor if necessary. To delete a vendor, click the Delete icon to the right of the vendor you would like to delete. You will then be prompted to confirm that you would like to delete the vendor. Click the red Delete button to confirm. Let's run through how to create and receive a purchase order using the Purchase Orders app. To create a purchase order, navigate to the Purchase Orders tab in your web app and select the Create New Purchase Order button. Select the store and the vendor. In this example, we've selected Nike as our vendor and Store 3 as our location. You have the option to upload a spreadsheet file for a large order or create it through the interface by selecting Create Purchase Order. A new purchase order has been created for the vendor, Nike, and the location, Store 3. When adding an item, details like the SKU, code, and current stock are pulled directly from Clover. You can search for any items in your Clover inventory by name, code, or SKU. We selected quantity of 10 waters to be ordered and adjusted the unit cost to $5, which allows us to see the total cost. We also added a comment for the vendor. Once the purchase order is saved, it appears in the purchase orders list with a pending status. A PDF or CSV of the purchase order can be viewed or downloaded by clicking on the download icon. The next step is to send the newly created purchase order to the vendor or to mark it as sent without sending an email. We marked the PO in this example as sent with no email, and you can see it's now in a sent status. Once the inventory arrives, you'll want to mark the PO as received. The quantity received or cost can be edited if they have changed since the order was placed. When the PO is received, the inventory stock count in Clover is automatically updated. The system calculates a weighted average cost for the item in Clover based on the previous cost and the cost of the newly received items. This feature can be toggled on or off in the purchase order settings as shown here. If only a portion of the PO is received, the system can be configured to automatically create a new pending PO for the remaining unreceived items. We've created a new purchase order to demonstrate how partial receipt of a PO will look. We marked the purchase order as sent without sending an email, and now we're at the point of needing to receive our inventory, but we've only received quantity 50 out of 100. We will indicate quantity 50 has been received, and then select Receive Purchase Order. A new pending PO for the remaining unreceived items has been created, and the PO number stays the same. You can either email your vendor to request an order for the remaining items, or you can leave the purchase order be until it's time to receive the items if you know they are on their way. Now we'll look at automating reorders. Purchase Orders app users can set minimum and maximum stock levels, along with an order quantity for items associated with a vendor and store. We'll run through an example of this by navigating to the Items tab and selecting Edit next to our item called Water. We'll indicate that once our stock reaches 350, we'll want to reorder stock of 500 in cases of 12, then select Save. We navigate back over to the Purchase Orders screen and click Refresh Low Items. A success message appears. a new purchase order has been created. If you select Edit, the PO opens and you can see the current stock of 69 and the reorder quantity of 420, which takes us as close to 500 considering the cases of 12. From here, you can also edit the quantity and cost if desired. Now we'll look at the Items section within the Purchase Orders app. The Purchase Orders Items section offers various tools for managing your inventory. First, you can track existing Clover items by assigning them to a vendor and setting minimums, maximums, and order by amounts. Next, you can create and track a new item. This will allow you to create a new item in Clover and the ability to track the item in the Purchase Orders app all at the same time. We also offer the ability to address items in bulk by either uploading a file to create and track new items or by uploading a file to track existing Clover items. With either upload option, you choose your vendor and the destination location or locations. Once your vendor and location or locations are chosen, you select Upload File and are then taken to this pop-up. Here you can upload your inventory file. A template is made available for you to follow if needed. You're also able to mark an item as out of stock from this view. All you need to do is select the checkmark box in the furthest right-hand column of the item. Once an item is marked as out of stock, it won't automatically be added to any purchase orders, regardless if a minimum and maximum was set. You also have the option to delete an inventory item. Lastly, you can view a specific item on the Mission Control Inventory dashboard by making this selection. Once selected, you're taken to the next screen. Thanks for your interest in the Purchase Orders app for Clover.